This is a Pubcast Shot. I'm John Loomer. What should we do with view-through conversions? Let's go. So view-through conversions are both misunderstood and controversial. The truth is they have value, but the context matters. So first, let's explain. What are view-through conversions? Meta's default attribution setting is 7-day click and 1-day view. This is how Meta gives credit to your ads for conversions. So that means that credit will be given to an ad for a conversion if it happened within 7 days of clicking your ad or 1 day of viewing it without clicking. So to clarify, this means a view-through is someone who saw your ad, never clicked it, but they converted within a day, and it's reported within Ads Manager. So first, there's the problem of advertisers completely ignoring that some of their conversions are view-through. Maybe a lot of them are. They see 100 conversions, and they stop there. They don't dig any deeper. They report back to their client about these 100 conversions, the cost per conversion, and the resultant return on ad spend, which are all amazing. But the context of view-through conversions is important, and they forget to mention it. Second, view-through conversions generally, for those who understand them, can be very controversial. So some advertisers argue that this is Meta stealing credit, and you should throw those results away entirely. Now, I wouldn't go that far, but view-through conversions are rarely as valuable as click conversions. That's just the truth. Or to put it another way, we can't always say for sure that your ad actually contributed to results when they're view-through. There's no proof that they even saw it. We know they were served it. We know they converted. But it's possible there was another reason they converted that had nothing to do with your ad. And we'll get to that in a minute. First, though, let's discuss an example of where view-through conversions actually have value. So someone has shown your ad. They see it. They're interested, but they don't click. This is also whatever it is you're promoting, a big commitment. Maybe it's an expensive purchase. So they discuss it with a business partner or a significant other. Then within 24 hours, they Google your brand or your product. Or maybe they know where your website is, so they just go directly there. They then complete the purchase. So in that case, your ad clearly contributed to the purchase, even though they never clicked on it. It may be difficult to prove, but it does deserve some credit. So now let's talk about when the value of view-through conversions is most questionable. If you run remarketing campaigns. Now, before we get to that, I encourage you to listen to a recent podcast I did on this specific topic. But let's say that you're targeting your email list. So your ad is shown to someone who gets your emails as well, but they don't see the ad. A few hours later, they get an email from you. They act on that email and they make a purchase. Or whether it's a separate email, a marketing effort from another platform, or they simply visit your website regularly already. The ad had no impact on the buying decision in this case, but it still gets credit. Now, that doesn't mean that remarketing can't lead to view-through conversions that have some value, but this scenario is very common. So what do we do about this? Do we completely ignore view-through conversions? No. It's about understanding context, getting the full picture, and preventing problems when you can. So let's talk about how you should address this. First, with sales campaigns. In most cases, use the default 7-day click and 1-day view attribution setting in the ad set and for your results. Then use the compare attribution settings feature to get a better sense of how your conversions are distributed between those attribution settings. So if you've defined your audience segments thoroughly, right? This is done within your advertising settings. You can define your existing customers and your engaged audience. You can also do a breakdown by audience segments. So that way, even if you're targeting broadly, you can see how many of your conversions happened from remarketing. The view-through conversions from a new audience are going to be most valuable. Right? So scrutinize the view-through conversions from remarketing to your existing customers and to your engaged audience. Second, what about if we're optimizing for other types of conversions, like leads? In that case, you should almost always define your attribution setting as 1-day click in the ad set. No view-throughs. When it's a purchase, you can make a really solid argument for view-through and for the 7-day click conversions. But if it's something free, only pay attention to 1-day click. If someone didn't click and convert within a day, it's highly questionable whether your ad had anything to do with that conversion. And if you didn't define your attribution setting this way, just make sure that you use the compare attribution settings feature and completely ignore at least the view through conversions, if not 7-day click. Finally, let's talk about remarketing. No matter what you're promoting, just throw out those view through conversions. Define your attribution setting in the ad set as 7-day click for purchases or 1-day click for non-purchases. If you don't want the algorithm inflating your results by going for the easy view through conversion, this is what you want to do. Now, if you fail to define your attribution settings this way, use the compare attribution settings feature and throw out all of those 1-day view conversions. Bottom line is that context is necessary when talking about view through. View through conversions don't have as much value as click through conversions. I don't think we can dispute that. But there are times when they do have some value. Completely ignore them for non-purchase events or for remarketing. This is going to impact all of your conversion results. So the number of conversions, the cost per conversion, the return on ad spend. You might not be quite as proud of those results now when you remove the view through conversions, but you know what? It's a responsible way of looking at your results. It shows a basic understanding that not all conversions were created equal. I have written well over 1,000 blog posts over the years for johnloomer.com on the topic of Facebook, now Meta advertising. And this includes anything from tutorials to new feature announcements to case studies and tests and experiments and a little bit of everything in between. To be honest with you, my blog, is what I became famous for. It's why I have a business in the first place. Now, while not everybody consumes content in this way, especially a detailed tutorial, which is kind of my expertise, maybe you do. And I hope you're following me there. I publish one blog post every week right now. I've changed my cadence through the years, but that's where I'm falling these days so that I can also do podcast episodes and videos as well. You may not be alerted right now once I've published a new blog post, but we can change that. Just go to johnloomer.com/alerts. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, do awesome things. I'm out.